welcome to this special edition of Bizwatch. I'm Qingyi. The 7-day national holiday will come to an end soon, but the fun continues. In this edition, Bizwatch explores the fun part of the fashion business, from the cost of a fashion show to the suburban outlets and eco-fashion. More than 300 runway shows have recently been held in New York, London, Milan, and Paris. The shows during the Big Four fashion weeks not only displayed fashion trends for spring 2008, but also the financial capability of the brands. This week, Cai Jue checks out the items on a fashion show budget and also how the brand owners manage to balance the huge costs of the shows with the benefits.
Every year, a fashion label holds 3 or 4 shows, 2 season shows, 1 anniversary show, and sometimes a special show too. From Paris to New York, from Milan to Tokyo, the 20-minute shows provide a compact opportunity for the labels to express its interpretation of trends for the next 6 months. But the investment in those 20 minutes is enormous.
It can go from $50,000 to $2 million. There is absolutely no room. Some houses have no budget, which means they can spend as much as they wish. If the designer has ideas, nobody calculates.
Versace didn't cancel its fashion shows during the last 2 years, even though the company's balance sheets were in the red. According to Giancarlo De Risio, who led the fashion giant back to profit earlier this year, the indirect costs of the shows for the next 2 seasons are the major item in the budget.
La sfilata è l'espressione
To have a successful show, we usually have to start work 6 months before it. Compared to the show itself, research on trends, styles, and the right fabric are much more costly.
In addition to creating the works of art shown on the catwalk, there are also tangible costs for the actual staging of the show. According to Stella Xu, who has been involved in the fashion industry for more than 10 years, backstage is where the majority of the money goes.
For backstage, you have people. People will include, say, working staffs, and also, like, say, hairdressers, like we imagine, stylists, and of course, models, and art directors, right? And also some helpers who can help with the dresser.
A venue for a fashion show is also an important item on the budget. The venue's rental fee, along with the payment to a selection of models, can account for more than 20% of the total cost, and it is fixed for holding a show in a big city. After spending such an amount of money, there is no guarantee of an immediate return.
Fashion show is one of the elements for the big brand to showcase the concept, the style, and the message and the emotion of the season. So besides of the PR, besides the advertisements, show is another important element, like for luxury brands, for fashion brands, more broadly for fashion brands. Yeah, so it's just one of the programs.
It's very important because it's where you show your work in the universe you want to show, and really you get across your message. And in Paris, like, you have press and buyers from all over the world that come and see you. So it's a starting for the press, and then the more press you have, the more buyers will attract. So it's a ways of communication, especially when you don't do advertising. A fashion show is your advertising. It's an investment in long term. It's doing okay. It's even.
Batista has held 6 shows during 3 years of managing his brand, and the budgets have increased show by show. And experts say that it is necessary to hold shows around the world, as exports account for 90% of the first and second tier brands' distribution. Cai Jue for Bizwatch.
Many of the world's renowned fashion weeks are going green, highlighting runway shows for clothes made of eco-friendly materials. Manufacturers and consumers today are more aware of the damage caused by conventional clothing fiber production, but can style and sustainability coexist? This week I talked to Don Green, co-founder of Canadian apparel maker Roots. He told us why eco-style need not be an oxymoron. Seems major retailers and clothing brands and also fashion designers have joined the eco-fashion campaign. So what's the big deal about this? How has this become a trend?
Scientists and the general population now realize that there's a major problem within the environment, that we as individuals can do small things that can really help. Now we know that cotton is one of the biggest users of pesticides. Coffee is number one. Cotton is number two. It uses about 25% of the pesticides, so it's a huge amount. And the pesticides are really terrible for the environment. They get into the water system and into the food chain, and it's not healthy to wear chemicals on your body. You know, there's a leading edge group of retailers, designers, fashion people that that understand that they have an obligation to really try to help the environment and pass this along to the consumer.
Do you really see budding consumer demand and awareness for this? I mean, some people argue that style, in the fashion industry, style and price will continue to rule.
In today's world, style is number one, and price. So if the more the farmers and the more the manufacturers get into using organic cotton, it'll become more efficient to grow it. I think the consumer would prefer to be wearing sustainable fabrics if they look as good and they're the same price as fabrics that are not sustainable. So that's the challenge. The industry's not there yet, but there's enough people that are buying into it to get the ball rolling.
In terms of organic cotton, because of the high growing cost, the production level is still quite low. It's only less than 0.1% of traditional cotton. Is this a problem? Because you need supply, right? You need a sustainable supply.
You need a great supply, especially when big brands such as Nike and Walmart has made a commitment to using organic cotton also, which is quite amazing for for a company that's really known for its low prices to be using organic cotton. And so it's true the yield for farmers is not as healthy, not as productive as when you're using chemicals. But as techniques become better and and there's more cotton available, the prices will come down. I've seen a significant reduction in the cost of organic cotton through the years. Back 10, 12 years ago, a t-shirt would cost us almost double what the regular cotton would cost us. And now that difference has come down to it's probably 15 or 20% higher to purchase organic product. So it's going in the right direction.
Is there a motivation for manufacturers, labels, to work with these farms? For example, to help fund these farms for growing organic cotton?
It's a process because there is a transition time for farmers. When they decide they want to become organic farmers, it takes 5 years to really clear the soil of the chemicals. So they have to have 5 years of growing cotton that's kind of transitional cotton. Chemicals are not used on it, yet it doesn't get the organic seal. So it's very important that manufacturers support farmers in that way, that they're buying the transitional fabric, even though you cannot label it organic, and it is a little bit more expensive. So that's, I know Nike gets it, we get it, a lot of the big makers really get that and are supporting farmers that are in that phase of the organic movement. And again, when you hear the Nikes and the Walmarts of the world starting to adopt it, and I think they're doing it for two reasons. One is it makes a lot of commercial sense. I mean, Walmart obviously wouldn't be doing it if it didn't show a good economic result, and yet they're doing it for that reason, and they're also a great byproduct is that they're also doing it because it helps the world. So it's altruistic, and it's a good fit. I mean, it's a great situation when the economics of doing the right thing work.
Well, you mentioned Nike and Walmart, and also Marks & Spencer in the UK. They have committed to use at least 5%
organic cotton in their whole product line by 2012. So is this the way to go? I mean, the major players in the industry take the lead and the smaller ones just following.
It's a very good idea for the big players to only be using a small percentage to start, because a Walmart, a Nike, a Marks and Spencer could really almost rob the whole production of organic cotton if they wanted to use 100% right now. So I think they're being very fair in their approach. I think they understand that they want to leave enough organic cotton for other manufacturers. Go gradual at it. We can't turn the whole product line overnight into sustainable, but every season we increase the amount we're using.
Dong added that clothing executives are hoping eco apparel will go the way of organic food and beauty products, which have become a $15 billion mainstream industry.